I asked you about that, you said you had a series of three questions. What brought you to this decision? When we were talking about how you're congratulating them for getting to a, being in the process and moving forward and choosing a company, even though it's not the solution you're offering. You had several questions. You said, what brought you to this? What decisions made you think this? What a third one. All three of those were ways around. I don't know if you recognize this. Ways around using the question word why.
Yeah. You don't really want to use why. You're putting
Because
people on the stand.
you're putting people in the stand. People can be defensive when you use that word why. It's a funny thing. And I don't think it's necessarily true if you have trust built. You could ask me why, and I'd say, oh, I'm about to learn something about myself that Justin is asking me. But it's not something you generally use with people who you haven't established trust with. Or if you do, I'd say use it carefully because it's a defensive question, a question that puts
Very
people in
defensive.
points.
Yes, so our mutual friend Townsend, right? I was on a call with him last week, and we were talking about the different types of questions, right? And he talks about the quality of our lives and relationships are determined by the questions that we ask, right? And what most people tend to do are ask like what and how questions. Now, how in the business world isn't a horrible idea, but what and why are, right? Those are really like the lowest forms of questions. They're lazy questions that are designed to like seek, you know, like prescriptions or formulas depend on where you're looking at it, right? In the sales world, what and why are going to make people defensive. In like a personal life, what, why, and how you're looking for like a simple answer, like a process to execute on, and that doesn't really serve the individual because you're treating an individual like an invalid at that point, right? You're just like, oh, do this like they're a robot, right? And that doesn't really serve that individual.